Welcome to Toffee TV. It is my three things from Doncaster Rovers 1, Everton 2. The Blues are into the third round of the Carabao Cup. Not a very convincing performance at all. In fact, it was a pretty awful performance by Everton. But they've got the job got the job done. They've won the game. And like I've said, we have got a tough tie in the next round. Aston Villa away, which is a horrible tie. This cup is always horrible to Everton. And we've got a tricky one there. The first thing I want to talk about is Everton's playing style. It's got to improve. The play, whether it's the coaches or it's just the players, they have got to come up with a way of playing. It can't just be confidence, because I get it if you're playing against a team that is flying. They were always going to be into us in the first half. And I don't mean that in a disrespectful way. They worked their bollocks off tonight, Doncaster. And the first half, they were brilliant. They were excellent. They were quick, sharp. We looked like we needed 3 or 4 touches to control a football. But we don't have any idea what we're doing through patterns of play. It can't all be off the cuff. And there has to be patterns of play worked on. We have to work it through the lines. Now, if that's the manager being caught between his own style and what he thinks maybe we should be doing, I'd rather he just reverted to Sean Dyche's tactics, which was very much 4-5-1. Nice and compact, nice and tight. Don't give anyone any space. And then when you can affect the play in the final third, do it. Because there's gaps all over the place in our team at the moment. And it can't all be down to just poor play from the players, because that's what you're there for, to coach. But the players have got to take responsibility as well. When you cross that white line, you have to create patterns of play. Your fullbacks have got to overlap. Your midfielders have got to be brave and play 1-2s. Your forwards, you've got to make sure you're linking up. And we have to step this up. We really do. Because I believe Everton have got players who should be well higher up in the league than, well, certainly where they are now. They're propping the bleeding league up. But they should be doing better than they are. Doncaster have shown tonight, with far inferior players, that you can have a style of play. You can knock the ball about. You can get people in wide areas and put crosses in. And Everton have got to come up with something that suits everybody, suits the coaches and the manager, but suits the players we have. Because at the moment, it's not good enough. And it's costing us things. And I just want to see some kind of development from that, because what I'm witnessing at the moment, I just think there's nothing really there at the minute that you can say we play. And I've heard other people saying, oh yeah, we do this and we do that. Well, I know football is interpreted in many different ways, but if you're happy with that, if you think that's good enough, fine. It wasn't good enough for me. And the second thing I'm going to talk about is Nathan Patterson, who I think has had some unfair stick this season. But I thought tonight he was poor tonight. And I think the thing with Patterson is he's not really doing one or the other for me. I think we saw when James Garner went right back in the second half what we want from a right back. We want him to be progressive. We want him to get forward into good areas, which he does at times, and then put balls in. Garner done it brilliantly in the second half. Pushed on, got forward, whipped crosses in. Looked to affect the play, almost had himself a goal, but for a really good block. And Patterson has got to do that. He's got to come up with a final ball. He's got to come up with better deliveries. I think he can be a really good player for Everton. He's a good athlete. He's a good size physically. He's strong in the tackle at times. It's his attack and play that will let him down unless he works on it. I'm sure he is, but that's what he's got to improve. James Garner's going to give him an issue. He's going to give Nathan Patterson an issue if he doesn't improve in them areas. The manager has hinted at it, that he's good at doing that role. He did it well in the second half for us, and Nathan has really got to step that up, the attacking side of his game more than anything, when he gets into those areas, because we're going to need our fullbacks. The way we play, we're going to need them to be creative. We're going to need them to get deliveries into the penalty area for Beto and for other people. So it's something that Nathan has really got to work on. And finally, it is the performance of Beto. He was the huge plus tonight. Arnaut Danjuma's got a goal and he's up and running now. But I'm delighted that Beto, who come on at half time, he's got man of the match. on Sky as well. He was my man of the match. He affected the game. I said it on my match reaction. He's raw, as in technically he's not the tidiest footballer I've ever seen, but he's a big, strong unit. He knocks people about. He's honest. He's quick when he gets going. He can finish. He's proved that. He could have had 2 tonight. One, if Garner had released a little bit earlier, he'd have probably scored. He did score when Garner eventually gave him the ball, but he was offside. He's hit the post with a great header. He's had another one blocked. So he was a real handful, and he's a real positive. And I think if Everton get the right service into him, he will score goals in the Premier League for Everton. But he'll also create opportunities just because people aren't going to be able to leave him. He can battle with you if you want it. He can get up and win headers. He can run you if you fancy it. And he looks to be a real handful. And like I say, if Everton can get the right service into him, he can produce goals. Absolutely. He can get us goals, and he can make goals for us by, again, taking a couple of defenders away. He's one that the Everton recruitment team should be very pleased with tonight, because he's being a marker for everybody else. Now, it's Doncaster. Again, I'm not being disrespectful to them. He's got to do this in the Premier League, but it's a nice positive start for him tonight, a goal on your debut. It'll be much tougher in the Premier League because the defenders are equally as quick and strong, but he's given us a little bit of hope tonight with that he can be the focal point. Get Dominic Calvert-Lewin fit. Yusuf Chimiti's had an important 45 minutes tonight. Done some decent stuff, and other stuff, touch wasn't good enough. And he's got to get to grips with that, because it's even more vital in the Premier League. But he's got someone in Beto that he can look up to, can see how he, the stuff he does can develop that way. And I think that's a very, very important marker for him. But to have someone like that as the focal point, and then we hope to get Dwight McNeil back. We hope to get Jack Harrison fit very soon. Everton are looking to bring another 2 or 3 in before the window shuts on Friday. Hopefully another winger. And then that gives us the opportunity to have more firepower, but also more creativity to create the likes of him opportunities. But it's a really positive start from him tonight. Like I said, he's got to reproduce that in the Premier League, that enthusiasm, that willingness to battle, which I think he's got in spades. And I think he can do that, and really he can give us that focal point, if you like, knocked into him, good control, lay it off, get back in the box, run people, like I say. He is crossing. He put one cross in, which nearly hit out the ground. Have a little bit of finesse with the crossing, but it's a really positive start from him tonight. Delighted with that. And obviously it's always good when you're a centre forward coming into a new club. It's always good to get off the mark as quickly as you can. So for him to get off the mark, and it was an important goal. Look, we were losing the game, and he's come on, he's got us that goal. He's hit the post not long after. He's had the ball in the net again. I think he finished with the most shots as well. So it was a really positive start for him. You can't go overboard. It was Doncaster, and it's one half of football, but it was a good half of football from Beto. So, yeah, let's see what the Blues can do in the next 48 hours to add to that as well. But a good start from him. Right, that is my 3 things. Let me know what you think in the comments section below. Give the video a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't. We've won a game. Let's enjoy it for a few days, and we've scored 2 goals. Thanks for watching. See you later.